a city that people kind of travel to escape and kind of be themselves. Reputation of embracing the outsiders, the outcasts, the mavericks.
There's obviously LA and New York, and those are big music cities. But San Francisco has always been kind of like the secondary city that people look to. This city and the Bay in general breeds creative individuals.
Music influences everything in this town. I think everyone is into music of some sort or other. Whatever you're into, there's a subculture here for you to get into.
Slim's was actually the first venue that I ever went to.
Room's got a nice shape too.
It does have a nice
It's like a nice sweet rectangle.
Slim's was like one of the first places me and Pete went to a show.
For a lot of people, this is one of their first introductions to the city when they're going to shows and you're 16 and you can't get into a lot of the other places. Slim's is like one of the first places that you're gonna go see a show.
It's just a great room, great like sound, and
It's like such an eclectic, group of people that come together, but they're all collaborating.
Anything goes, anything can happen here, you know?
The thing that Converse put on just like really brought bands that like have that soul and have that drive just to push.
If you come here and you play and you get recognition for it, people take notice. But this is one of those cities where people love to go out, people love to see live music.
There is kind of this idea of just supporting music as a whole rather than kind of squashing yourself into like different scenes.
The venues here aren't one way or the other. They're really diverse. They kind of go every way. They might have a hip hop show one night and a rock and roll show the next night.
We're not in a place that has historically been a music business center like a LA or New York. We've seen and had influences from all over the world.
Like in rap terms, like New York had New York rap, LA had like LA gangster rap, San Francisco, we were listening to both of it, you know what I'm saying? All of it. So we're not like, oh, it's a San Francisco rap, or we're trying to do New York rap, or we're trying to do LA rap, we're just trying to do our thing.
well, we started outside of San Francisco, actually, East Bay.
So many, great artists, musicians have just come from this area. It's fertile for it. It's a fertile ground.
It's a really good network of artists and musicians all supporting each other and wanting to do cool stuff.
You can't be here and just be in one scene and not be influenced by like garage or hip hop or electronic music.
Well, I spent most of my teenage years and 20s skating here, and yeah, that definitely affected me. Like the music I was exposed to through that scene.
The skate scene, the music scene, the art scene, the tattoo scene, I mean, it all crosses over.
Everyone has their own style, and you kind of hang out with the people who kind of the same style as you. And then we all mingle at a common spot, a show, a bar. Usually it breeds even more creativity.
Without old skate videos like I probably wouldn't have heard of half the bands that got me into music.
I live in the Sunset District, and that's where we practice too, and that's out by Ocean Beach. And I'd say like lifestyle out there is definitely influenced by the surfer mojo.
Those two scenes have very different kind of ethos or kind of feeling to them, but they mesh nicely in this city, and it's interesting what it does.
And I think a lot of times people try to fit in, they say support your scene. I go, what is your scene? I think your scene is when you do something that you believe in and you're doing it for the right reason.
Hello everybody at Dolores Park!
It seems like a very open-minded city. People are allowed to do what they want, maybe more than in other places, and it seems that a lot of different kinds of people meet here.
Always been great musical movements coming out of here, whether it was big band or blues or jazz or rock and roll or punk rock.
You hear about the beginnings of those kind of punk scenes, and they all kind of came from the gay clubs, because those were the clubs that were like, yeah, you can play here. And there's a camaraderie, again, with like being outsiders,
This city's got a great kind of political and cultural history, so I guess people kind of gravitate towards it,
Gay culture is all in my music, goth culture, cult culture.
kind of, their roots remain here. You know, remain San Francisco bands, but I think that a lot of bands come up here and they kind of, their roots remain here.
People in San Francisco come to San Francisco to not grow up. It's kind of like the Neverland for grown-ups.